All right, welcome back to part three of making a website from scratch. We're gonna start it off with a little, basically the same thing. Just run you back a little bit. I did change the background color just to make it a little more readable for you guys. And obviously you have all here. I believe today we are going to be working on this button, so this send button is going to be a little different. So we are going to want to style the button. Half this screen here. So under card, let's do .btn, just the base of the button basically. You'll have other styles for buttons personally. So display inline block on buttons and links. So this works as well. We're going to want to add padding, 10 pixels top and bottom, 30 pixels left and right. Okay, we're going to want a cursor pointer. Background, var, primary color, the text of the color. It's going to be white. Border is going to be none. And border radius is going to be 5 pixels. There we go. So now we go back to here, and did say that we had a class of btn outline, which we do, which is this read more. So let's add that. So dash btn dash outline background color to transparent, and then add a border of 1 pixel, white and solid. So now it should have, yes, a nice button here. Yeah, okay, so it is required. Nice, nice, nice. So we want to have a hover effect. So .btn for any btn, hover, transform, scale. 1 is default, so 0.98 is going to scale it down when you hover. Yes, it does. Now we're going to adding a slant. Oh. Okay. Right under here, dot showcase colon before dot showcase after, so it's doing both. We're gonna have a content property of, okay, we're gonna leave it blank, but if you put something in, it's gonna show up right here. Okay. The showcase has position relative right here, yes. Okay. So it's going to be positioned absolute within that relative. So position absolute height of 100 pixels. Okay. So bottom, could add top, bottom, left, right. Gonna want to go below bottom, so down here. So negative 70 pixels. And then right 0, left 0, left see what it looks like. So we're going to set the background to red for an example. Okay, so yeah, looks exactly like his, basically. And remember, guys, if you want to follow along, you can just click the video in the description if you want to do that, or just follow with me. And we're going to want to slant it, so we're going to do a transform. You can do scale, rotate, whatever. Let's see what he's doing here. You can do skew on the y-axis. And he's saying slightly, so he just didn't do -3 degrees. Now it just slants a little bit, as you can see. Okay. You don't want this to be red, agreed. So he's going to change this to white. So it looks like it's part of this. Interesting. So you can slant it a lot less as well. But we're going to keep it as 3. Yes. If you make it wider, it's obviously flat, but he's saying it's fine. I personally don't really care that much. It looks fine, I guess. So making sure it works on all browsers. He's gonna copy it down a few times here. And we're gonna add Webkits. So -webkit -transform. That's gonna be for Chrome and Safari. Okay, actually, hold on. Let me actually do this. So, whoops. I'm gonna add Chrome for Safari. Okay, actually, this makes a lot more sense. And then Moz.transform. And then Microsoft MS. Okay, actually, that made a lot more sense now. So it scales, basically. So next part is going to be what here? Apparently that was the most difficult part. So we're going to go back into HTML. And we're going to be talking about the stats area, which is going to be down here. So under this section and stats, okay, and we're going to add a section of stats. So it's going to be section. I wonder, can I press tab? No, you can't. Okay, so section, you got to actually spell it out. .stats. And in here, we are going to use a container. Dude, I gotta learn these like hotkeys. So it is .container. Cool. Because we don't want it to stretch out the whole page. We just want it to end where the rest of it ends. And in here, we're gonna have h3. h3.stats.heading .text center. Oh my god, he's adding a lot, boys. .my-1, which is going to be margin on the top and bottom, because why is that y-axis? Okay. Okay, so M is on the Y, X is on left and right. M just means margin. Well, this time we're just merging the Y. Gotcha. Okay, okay. Got that. And this is just so you don't have to add a shit ton of CSS or a lot of CSS, where you can just do it a lot in here. I'm actually just going to copy his text here. So welcome to the best platform for building applications of all types. all types with modern architecture and scale. Okay. So then under here, we're going to use font awesome icons and some stats with some deployments. So we're going to use .grid, which we have a 2-column one, which is what this is using up here. So we're going to have a 3 one, so .grid-3, because we want 3 columns, and we're going to also want text as center, and we're going to want margin of a little more, which is going to be 4. And now it's going to be a div times 3. And in this first one, we're going to have icon i.fas server, which is font awesome class .fa-3x, which is going to be our icon, and underneath that is going to be h3, which 10,340. We'll just add some numbers. Then underneath this, we're going to have a paragraph with a text color style. So it's going to be a secondary, which we haven't had a secondary color. And we'll have deployments. And he basically copies and pastes them just right into these. So this one's going to be published. For the stat here, we're going to change this to 987 terabytes. It's not going to be server upload for the icon. And for this last one, we are going to use projects. And the stat is going to be 2,343,265, but I'm not doing that. Just number. And font awesome icon, we're going to use project diagram. Now if we save it, you could definitely see the content is above the slant. So we're going to have to push the slant down. So let's see. So right below showcase, we're going to stats. Oops, my bad. Right below showcase, we're going to do stats. And dot stats. Padding, oh, my bad. Padding top 100 pixels. I'm going to push it down a little bit. And obviously the grid class takes the first 2 divs out of the 3 and then splits them into 2. Because we set in here that is repeat 2 1FR. So if we did 3, then it would line them up. Gotcha. Okay. It's not centered, but there's 3 columns. We don't want to set it on the initial grid. Okay, so in here, .grid-3. Okay, so on here we're just setting it to 3. Oops, grid. And then that would change this one only. So in here, he is actually going to be creating a whole new CSS file for the utilities. So I'm just going to name it utils.css. And he is going into here and just highlighting all utilities basically. And I'm going to paste them into utils. And he's just gonna completely remove it here, which would just make it look terrible. But so now we gotta call this sheet, right? So we're gonna go all the way back up. Oh, okay, he just copies it down. You know what? That works too. And we're just gonna utils.css, and then all fixes that. Very good, very good. So now we have separate CSS folders, or utils, and then basic. Okay, makes sense, I guess. Could just have it all in one too, which I guess is fine. So for text center, we're going to do .text center, and then it's just going to be text align center, and the margin classes my-1, yes. We have my-4, right? Yeah. All right. So in here, we can go just at the bottom, just label it margin. So we're gonna have my-1, which is gonna be margin 1 rem, top and bottom. And a rem unit is a CSS unit. That means that it's a multiplier of the root element's font size. Okay. Which the default's 16 pixels, so. Default 16 unless you do HTML and then set a font size. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense to me. Hopefully makes sense to you guys. Then we're gonna have my. I don't think we have it too, but I'm gonna put it in here. And we're gonna set that to 1.5 rem. And then we had my4. Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay. So he's gonna put a 3, and this is a 2 rem, and then 4 is gonna be 2.5, and then 5 is gonna be 3. So just easy for margin sizing, which makes the website look a little better now. Everything's centered, as you can see. I'm using sort of a shit font. I'll probably change that next time. So because this font's very tiny, I'm not gonna lie, but it's usually not supposed to be this small. So I'll probably change that by next video or so. Not actually too sure. So now whenever we want to add these top and bottom margin, we could just call these classes right here. So these M4 or M1. All right. Let's see. Now if we need margin all around, he's just going to copy this. And we're just going to change it to M. So M1, M2, M3, M4, M5. And it's going to be all the way around. We can actually just get rid of this 0. And you could do MX for left and right. But we are not going to need that, so we're not going to do that. But we're going to want to do the same with padding. So we're copying these one more time. Oops. And we're just going to add a common. And we're going to, oh fuck. And we're going to change these. I'm going to command Control D, because his was MY. I'm just gonna change this, so it's gonna be PY dash for padding, and this, and we're gonna change this to padding. We could use the same exact numbers for this, which is fine. And he's gonna do the same thing where, and we're just gonna be P. All right. And this is going to be padding all the way around if we need it. Okay, so these are actually supposed to have zeros then because this is on the Y value. So add a 0 on these and we will be good. But that has been 20 minutes, so we are going to stop this episode and we will be right back with this next one. I'm not going to change the font size, but the one after that I probably will. Thank you for watching part 3. Stay tuned for part 4.